Well, hello everyone. This is Dennis Caye, your Ambergris Caye real estate advisor, and today we're going to jump right into a very interesting subject that many of my clients are asking me to present about, and that is buying property in Belize using your self-directed IRA or individual retirement account or your self-directed 401k program. Many of you are looking at buying property in Belize, but you don't want to do it with your personal funds. Rather, you want to make more an investment out of it using your IRA, 401k, other monies you might have right now in the stock market, mutual funds, or other places. And so today I want to dive down into some detail regarding how you can most easily do this. All right, so let's begin. Investing in Belize, this is going to be a part one of a series because many of you are asking for these videos to be a tad shorter. And so this is part one. And I'm going to start off with this quote by Robert Kiyosaki. Money is not the goal. Money has no value. The value comes from the dreams money helps achieve. And this is particularly important to understand when looking at using funds you already have or that you will contribute into your individual retirement accounts. This is money that you are investing. It is not for today. You are not going to benefit today from the money you're investing in these retirement accounts. This is for the future. When you turn 59 and a half, 60, older, up into your 70s, 80s, this is money that is going for future dreams so you can secure a lifestyle for yourself then. It has nothing to do with your needs, wants, and desires right now. Now that's going to be key as we go through our program today. So first of all, for those of you who may or may not be familiar with self-directed IRAs, these are simply an incentive given by the government to help you to have the desire to put away a portion of your annual income to provide some tax savings on that. And they want to encourage you to then invest that income each year into things such as the stock market or gold or real estate or something so that you can build up your own retirement fund. Now this would be in addition to any Social Security that you might get or any other savings that you might have when the time comes for retirement. But this is what it is. So it's a government provided incentive program for you to personally invest some of your dollars tax deferred or tax free each and every year. Now, most people take the hands-off approach to this. They trust others with their dreams and others with their future. So they might have an IRA custodian who advises them, you know what, you should be in this fund or that fund, or put your money in this company or that company. And they just take a hands-off approach, really trusting in their advisor, in their custodian, to recommend the right thing. But the reality is, most do not really know what they're invested in at all, at least not in any meaningful detail. The IRS, however, does allow for you, the person who holds the IRA, to invest in a variety of different investment vehicles with some restrictions. And the more savvy you are or the more educated you are on some of these, the better decisions that you can make. Now, before we go into what some of these are, your annual contributions, if you're under the age of 50, is $5,500, and if you're age 50 or older, it's $6,500. All right, so right now you might be looking at your account saying, you know what, Dennis, I don't have that much money in my IRA. Can I really get started investing in Belize? Well, yes, you can, and I'll show you how a little bit later. But first of all, here's a list right from the IRS website regarding some investments that are approved by the IRS using IRA funds. So notice the short list there: artwork, rugs, antiques, metals, gems, stamps, coins, alcoholic beverages, other certain types of personal property, of course, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, anything to do with Wall Street, things like that. Now notice at the very bottom of the slide, you might not be able to read it in its entirety, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It says IRA trustees or custodians are permitted to impose additional restrictions on investments. As an example, because of some administrative burdens, many IRA trustees do not permit IRA owners to invest in real estate. All right, now there's a reason for that. It says IRA law does not prohibit investing in real estate, but trustees are not required to offer it as an option. Now, why in the world would that be? Well, think about it. If you're an IRA custodian, you are managing people's money, and you get paid a fee for managing that money, and you make profits managing other people's money. If you're not going to get paid on a certain type of investment, how likely are you to recommend that in wholesale to your clients? Not very likely. So what we find is for a variety of reasons, many custodians just simply avoid the real estate investment feature of IRAs altogether. In fact, they will tell you that they don't recommend it and it's too risky and whatnot. Really, real estate is too risky compared to what? Compared to stock market, compared to gold. You know, the stock market fluctuates on a dime. Within a few minutes, a few hours, a day or so, the stock market can be all over the map. You take a well-researched piece of real estate, either in a good solid market, it has many factors that drive its value, that drive the rents you're achieving for that particular piece of property. Now it does fluctuate, but it's more like a slow-moving tanker. It can't fluctuate very, very high on either end of the scale, and so it is much more solid investment than simply putting your money into a mutual fund, stock, or bond. So what we're going to do is look at a couple of different ways that you can invest in real estate using your IRA. Now, let's just go back to this thing real quickly about IRA custodians. Some of the larger custodians don't like to touch real estate, but there are some very, very good custodians who do, who I would highly recommend. Equity Trust is one of them. They're based out of Ohio. They do millions and millions and millions of dollars each year helping their clients invest in real estate, both in the United States and also in Belize and other countries around the world. NewView, based out of Orlando, Florida, is another very good company. We've worked extensively with them. They also help their clients find and invest in properties for all sorts of reasons in the United States and in Belize and elsewhere. Now, here are some allowable real estate holdings. All right, these are allowable by the IRS to hold property with your IRA. Single-family rental homes. You can go out and buy a single-family home for rental purposes with your IRA. You can buy apartment buildings, all right, anywhere from a duplex to 100-unit or more apartment buildings. Retail space, commercial space. You can buy a commercial property that you then plan to rent out to a retailer or some other commercial venture. Vacant land. This is very interesting. Vacant land is proven to be one of the top returning assets for IRAs, at least those investing in Belize. I'll show you a couple examples of why later on. Real estate syndications. This is where you go in on a property with several other real estate investors. It could be 2 or 3 investors. It could be a group of 20 or more. It depends on the deal. But you can buy a single property, or a group of properties, a resort property with other real estate investors using your self-directed IRA money. And you can do this, you can, regarding all these different forms of holdings, you can buy them, sell them, rent them. You can sell them with owner carry financing, which is extremely lucrative. Now, there's some things that you cannot own with your self-directed IRA. This would be your personal or your family home. All right, so this is not for retirement. Obviously, if you buy a home and then you move into it, that is not money that you are now investing for retirement. That's something you're getting personal use on today, and you cannot do that legally. You will get in trouble for that. Also, transactions between family members. So a wife, you cannot buy your husband's property with your IRA, or your sons or daughters, or your moms and dads. That is not permissible. You can also not buy an existing property that you own with your IRA money. So if you own a rental property now personally, you cannot turn around and buy that with your IRA. It's not allowed. It's illegal. Also, you cannot buy a vacation property for your personal use. All right, now this is very important. So some people say to me, Dennis, I want to buy a property in Belize. It's going to be a condo. I'm going to buy it with my IRA money. And oh no, yeah, by the way, I'm going to use it for several weeks. My wife and I are going to come down for, family trips, vacations, blah, blah, blah. No, it's completely illegal. You cannot benefit from the asset today. Think about this. The primary reason the government is allowing you to do this in the first place is for your retirement, all right? Retirement money. Those are the dreams. Those are the goals that you're looking after, retirement ages, not something you can benefit from right now. So when it comes to Belize real estate, what can you invest in Belize today with your self-directed IRA? Number one, if you are an accredited investor, It means you make over $250,000 a year and you have over $1 million in net assets, not including your primary place of residence. Then you can buy into or become a part of a real estate syndication. The minimal amount of investment right now that you can get in on that in Belize is 100,000 US. So you must have at least 100,000 US in your self-directed IRA. The returns on that vary depending on the deal, because we have different types of real estate investments that appeal to different types of investors for different reasons. We have resort properties, we have larger single-family beachfront homes, we have private islands that can be developed. All of these are different SEC registered offerings that are available to accredited investors. Now, this applies to different types of property in Belize, resort property, developments of different types. It can even apply to vacant land or vertical construction. If you qualify to make such an investment, email me. We can set up a personal consultation and we'll see what your goals and needs are, what your exit strategy would be, and we'll put together some presentations for you. All right. As a separate note, completely different now from our syndication programs, you can simply purchase a rental property in Belize. You can be a 1 or 2 bedroom condo, a single family home, beachfront home, whatever it is. The minimal amount you would invest in a property like this would be 175 to 450,000 US. This gets you a condo with ocean views and a nice development. Now the returns on such a rental property again would vary. And it would vary depending on the management company, how they run the program, what the split is. Sometimes the split is 25-75, 60-40, 50-50. That's the amount of rental income that's split between the property management company and the owner. Also, a lot depends on how the occupancy rate is for a particular development. So if a development is getting 50% occupancy rate, it might return a lower return than one that it's getting 75, 80, or 85%. Stands to reason. Now, there are pros and cons to owning rental property with your self-directed IRA. First of all, you have to be concerned not just about your initial investment, so your purchase of the property itself, but you also have to be concerned about ongoing HOA fees, capital improvements, and whatnot. And here's why. Here's the important kicker. Let's say you purchase a condo and it's let's go to the middle of the road here, $250,000. And now that sort of drains the money you have in your IRA. So the first year, you're making a little bit of money, and that's fine. So everything's good. Your IRA is making some cash. You're renting it out. But now all of a sudden, third and fourth year hits. What happens if you get a large capital appreciation bill? So maybe the condo units need new roofs or may need new refurbishing, and now your IRA is being called upon to donate maybe $5, $10, $15,000 toward the HOA fund to make all these improvements. If your IRA does not have enough money in it at the time, then it can be very, very difficult for you, because you cannot contribute any sort of personal funds or funds from anywhere else to the IRA above and beyond your annual contribution. So you can run into some legal and also some other types of issues if you don't manage your property correctly, and if you allow your IRA to run down on funds too much, which is never a good idea. Still, that being said, if this appeals to you, let me know, and we can look at the funds you have, see what's available on Ambergris Caye, and maybe put a deal together. Now, my personal favorite way to invest in property in Belize, and one that a lot of my IRA holders find easy as well, is vacant land. Vacant land is an excellent purchase because it's easy. It's a very low commitment way to get in the game in Belize. Your minimum investment is $35,000 to $300,000, depending if you're looking at interior lots, beach view lots, beachfront lots. And what you can do here is look for properties that have a reason to increase in value. Many of you have heard me talk about this before in different webinars, different presentations. You always look for properties in the path of progress, properties that are a bargain now but have a reason to go up in value in the near future. Now, what you can do with those vacant land properties is sit on them, wait for them to appreciate in value. You might do this for 12 months, 5 years, 12 years, doesn't matter. But when you do flip them, not only will you be flipping them for capital gains, which is a very, very nice return, and More importantly, what you can do with your IRA is flip these properties with seller financing. Now, this is the key to how many of my clients are making money using their IRAs, buying and selling property in Belize. This is a key slide, seller financing, which all this means is when you go to sell the property, your IRA prices the property and publicly identifies it for sale as coming with seller financing. This is huge. All right, here's why. Your typical terms on seller financing is 10-10-10, which means you ask for 10% down. This goes to cover the real estate fees, seller fees, whatnot. You ask for 10% interest, and you might go with a 10-year amortization. All right, so 10-10-10, 10% down, you're charging 10% interest, and it's a 10-year am. Now you can adjust those numbers however you see fit. You can ask for 15% down. Don't go any below 10% interest because that's the standard. And then you can go a 5-year loan, 10-year loan, 20, 30, doesn't matter. The IRA maintains holding of the title until the property is paid in full. Now that's key. So your IRA is not at risk at losing the property at any time. If the buyer defaults, your IRA keeps their down payment, keeps all their monthly or quarterly payments, and the IRA just simply sells it again. The buyers make payments directly to the IRA, all right, that includes the interest, and here's the thing, in Belize, there are no capital gains taxes on the sale. So United States, you might be required to pay some taxes depending on how long you've held the property, what the deal is structured like. But here's the deal, no capital gains taxes in Belize. So let's take a look at how this might work with a very low-end starter property. Your IRA purchased a property for $50,000 US. All right. Your IRA then waits for the right time to sell that property. It could be immediately, depending on what's happening in the area, or it could be 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. Whatever it is. Let's say they sell the property for $60,000. Okay, a modest bump. So they sell it for 60, they ask for 10% down, which is $6,000, and now they have a balance of $54,000 that the buyer is now paying you, the seller, 10% on. So 10% of $54,000 in the first year alone, your IRA is going to make a profit of $5,400 in interest. Now that's above and beyond the money that they made in the flip. You bought it for 50, you sold it for 60, so you made some money there, but now more importantly, you are making that 10% interest. Now, by a show of hands, I can't see who you are, but by a show of hands, who here is making a solid 10% on your money right now in your IRA? Probably very, very few of you. The stock market, let's say on a great year, it returned, 2, 3, 4%, but that's subject to severe wild fluctuations, and timing is everything. When you get in, when you get out, everything like that. So most of my clients are realistic with me, and they're telling me honestly that they're making 1, 2, 3% a year with their IRA money, and that a solid 10%, why we say solid is because you've already made money on the flip itself. So this is just now bonus money coming in, and it's an ongoing 10% per year. Now, how can you do this? Well, there's 7 easy steps to follow, and here's 6 of them. Number 1, open and fund an IRA. Now, most likely, if you're listening to this program, you already have an IRA set up. So how much money do you have in there? Is it 20 grand, 50, 100, $200,000? Whatever it is, that is the amount of money. Consider what portion of that IRA you want to invest in property in Belize. All right. It might be that you need to consolidate a few different IRA holdings. All right. So if your husband and a wife team and you each have 50 grand in your respective IRAs, you can combine them in a sense and buy a single property in Belize with each of you being 50% holders. All right, so we do this all the time. Or a husband can, maybe he has 20 grand in his IRA and the wife has 80. Well, you can also split the purchase and buy a single property in Belize, combining your IRAs. All right, then you locate the property. All right, now here is where it's key when it comes to locate the property. I'm going to go back to one of my favorite quotes by Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank. How can I make money? Your sole reason for purchasing a property in Belize with your IRA is to make money for retirement. All right? Keep that in mind. This is not your be-all and end-all dream property in Belize where you envision yourself sitting under a hammock, drinking cocktails, watching the sunset, maybe getting a massage on the beach. This is not that property, all right? This property has a sole purpose of making money for your retirement. So don't let other aspects of Belize property cloud that reality or that vision. And here's 4 things to keep in mind. When it comes to buying property with your self-directed IRA, personal preferences mean nothing. It doesn't matter if you personally want to be on the beach, whether you want beach views, whether you like a certain part of the island, whether you would enjoy a modern condo compared to something more rustic and laid back, all right? The type of property as it appeals to you and your family should not come into play here, all right? Because here's the deal. The sole purpose of this property is to make money. So if you were to go out and research a stock or a bond or a company that you wanted to put your investment dollars in, it would not matter so much if you had a personal attachment to the company you're investing in. What matters is all sorts of reasons that go into, is this property going to be profitable? Is this company going to be, oh, okay, wait. All right. Did my audio come back on? All right. Did my audio come back on? All right, so you might have missed about 20 to 30 seconds of that. All right, so again, let me just review real quickly. If you're buying into a company, for instance, buying their stock, you don't care so much if you have a personal use component in that company. All you care about is, does it give me a good return? Is it safe? Is it going to give me a good return financially? And then in the future, am I going to be able to use those financial rewards to go and pursue other dreams of mine? So detach your personal emotion of what you're going to buy in Belize with your self-directed IRA money with what you would buy for your own personal use with personal money. Remember, you're not buying your dream property today. You're buying your future dreams because that is what your IRA is for. All right, once you locate that property, we will work on that together. Find out what your long-term, short-term retirement goals are. Once we have located that property, we would make an offer on it, try to get you a good deal, all right? And then with that agreement for sale in place, we will go to your custodian. Could be a current custodian, or it could be one that you transfer your monies to, like Equity, Trust, or NewView, and they will have you fill out a DOI form. Direction of investment form. It's about a 2 to 3 page form saying what the property is, what the price is, where it's located, the seller's information, your IRA information, and you will give them that filled out form along with the agreement for sale. Now, during the next 30 days, what your custodian would do is they will process the investment, which means is they will send that DOI form through their network, through their channels. They will approve the property. They will also be in touch with the closing company in Belize. We personally use Belize Caye Investments quite heavily. They're very familiar with how IRA deals work. Between the two of them, your closing company and your custodian, they normally would take between 30 and 45 days to fund the purchase of the property. After that, the title is then transferred into a holding company, like an IBC, an LLC, and then that will in turn be owned by your IRA. All right, so here's the 6 steps. Now, the 7th step here is kind of interesting because what you can benefit from by buying property in Belize as compared to investing in the stock market is something called insider trading. Now, if you were to invest in insider trading in the stock market, that would usually result into a prison sentence because it's illegal. You cannot willingly buy or sell stock with insider knowledge because it's viewed as being unfair. Unfair equals illegal, illegal equals punishments, fines, imprisonments, whatnot. Now, interestingly, when it comes to real estate, it's not true. If you have some insider trading information or some information that nobody else quite knows about yet, because it's either not well known or it's not publicized, and you use that information to make a good buying decision that is not only not illegal, but that's also making a good business investment. And here's the way that can work in Belize. Would you think that living in Belize for as long as I have, knowing the key players in the market, knowing firsthand what is going on in different areas, that I would have an unfair advantage when it comes to buying and selling properties myself, my own personal investments, and those that I recommend to my clients? Well, absolutely. There's nothing illegal about this. I know of developers who have bought up a large tracts of land in certain areas. I know what they plan to do with it. I know that they have their EIA before the government in Belmopan right now, which is going to approve or not approve of what they plan on doing, or approve with adjustments. All right. I know that certain clients, personal clients, have bought properties in certain areas, what they plan to build on them, and how what those plans are going to affect the area. So is it going to increase or decrease property values? Will it be an incentive to get power or more roads or other infrastructure into a certain area? All right, so these are things that may or may not be public knowledge on the internet, or it may be a blurb on the news, but some just don't realize how much some of these details can affect a certain area. So when you're working at buying property with an IRA, remember, you're looking to make a financial investment. And so you want to buy in areas that have a very solid reason to go up in value to provide the highest return possible. All right, so what are the next 3 steps? Well, number 2, first of all, the next step is to watch part 2 of this series, Buying Property with Your IRA or Self-Directed 401ks, because there's a key component to this, making it work, and that is how you hold title. So we're going to talk about making use of IBCs or international business companies in our next video. Number 2, determine how much of your IRA fund right now you would like to get a better rate on. Let's just use that rate of 10% interest. How much would you like to make 10% interest on year after year of your existing and upcoming IRA funds? Number 3, let's to get together. We can locate that property, whatever that is. It could be a syndication, could be a single family home, condo, piece of vacant land, whatever it is. Let's identify that, get that under contract, and get that transferred into your IRA this month. All right, well, I said I was going to try to make this short and sweet. Hopefully it was short enough for you, but also detailed enough to help you to see how you can buy property in Belize using your IRA funds and the benefits of doing so. All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate all of you attending today. This has been a great presentation. I appreciate all of the questions that led up to this. My name is Dennis Caye, your Ambergris Key investment expert, and I'm also the author of the Belize Relocation and Investment Guide. For that, see the website, www.belizeislandrealty.com, and I hope to hear from you soon. Cheers.